Hey, Namaste Goddess. I am so glad you're here. Today I will be leading you in a Sacral Chakra yoga practice that is very healing. The sacral chakra is so important for us women. I believe it is really one of the most important chakras. I believe that there's a lot of damage and trauma there. As you even look at the recent movements bringing out a lot of the sexual trauma and abuse that so many women have suffered, which even shocked me. I myself have suffered sexual abuse, and I know it can be extremely traumatic, even years later, even in subtle ways. And so even science now, I believe I was reading about this a couple months ago, but you can look this up if you need scientific backing to what you kind of already intuitively know, Goddess. They found that women with more issues like fibroids and things like that often had a higher level of emotional and sexual abuse in their past. Now that's what we would say spiritually as well, is that the issues are in the tissues. Things that happen to us, any of us, male or female, is stored in our physical body, and then also we believe in our energetic body, right? Now that's what's harder for science to see in your energetic or subtle body, which is where the chakras are. They are part of your energetic system that underlies the physical, that underlies the muscles, right? The West only goes so deep. Other cultures, of course, talk about a life force called chi, prana, mana. Every traditional culture had a word for that. The flow of that gets damaged by abuse, by traumas, and so on. But maybe someone said something to you, or you felt in some way. A lot of times women were made to feel ashamed of our sexuality, and especially in Western culture, and I know in many other cultures too, there's a real dichotomy or conflict between being sort of a good girl or being, you know, the word that we use for women who are promiscuous, right? And so there's this dichotomy about that. So all of that is stored in the sacral chakra. And so expect that if you start to work with this chakra, issues may come up for you to see and for you to release. So this yoga practice will help you actually just get in there and release through the tissue level. It's an easier way to work with the chakra and affect the sacral chakra is by doing these postures. My emphasis is all on around the womb area and opening the hips and getting energy flowing through that area. You will feel very alive, enlivened, and like I said, issues may come up that you have stored away. If you need any support, of course, I always recommend seeing a medical professional before you begin yoga, but also therapy and support for any issues that may come up. Watch till the end. Also give you a acupressure meridian point to help build this energy of the meridian that relates. So the kidneys and that water energy, the kidneys also relate in traditional Chinese medicine to fear. So when we feel a lot of fear, that affects the function of these organs according to traditional Chinese medicine. And I have seen it in my own practice working with clients. So I will give you a point at the end of the yoga practice to increase and strengthen the flow of this meridian energy, and of course relates to water and the water systems and the fluid in our body. That's what the sacral chakra relates to as well. Emotions, sexuality. If you'd like to know more, at the very end of the video, there are other videos that explain what the sacral chakra governs, all of the correspondences with this chakra, so that you have a full understanding. It's more an explanation video. This is to get you active. Do this practice several times a week, and as long as it feels good to you, take your time. This is not a competition. The postures may look very simple and even boring, but when you try them, you'll see they're actually very difficult to do properly, and so it's meant to be developed over time. Any questions, ask in the comments. I will answer them. And so come on up to standing. The feet are wider than hip distance apart. The knees pointing out over the feet and the arms out to the side. You exhale, coming down into a deep bend position. Breathe. Drop the tailbone down. Slight contraction of the abdomen for support. The elbows are bent at a right angle. Exhale, arms down. Inhale. Exhale again, lower down. Hold and breathe. Deep breath in all the yoga practices. Very important. Exhale, arms down, and release. Shake it out if you need to. Coming to feet parallel to each other and just bring palms together. Check in and notice how you feel. And now hip circles. You can rest the hands anywhere. And we're just circling in one direction, circling to the right. Here I'm just moving the hips and then circling to the left. And then we're making it a little bit more subtle, more from the waist and the hip, like you're belly dancing or hula dancing. Have fun, don't feel silly doing it, and really sort of loosen up through the waist. Go in one direction and then reverse directions. Just really getting some movement through the hips. Inhale, widen the feet again. Exhale, coming down to a deep squat and bending the elbows at about a right angle, palms facing forward, and just really feel the heat building in the body. Exhale, lower the arms and look over your right shoulder. Look behind you and twist. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Deep knee bend is what's building some heat. We're using this as a warm-up. Breathe and release the pose. Step the feet together, palms together, and just notice how you feel. If your Achilles is tight when you try to come to a squatting pose, then you see I'm rolling up the yoga mat here. You can roll it even higher. And you put it under your heels so you don't have to have a flexible Achilles. So you come down to a squat, knees wide, knees pointing over the middle toe so that the knees and the toes align. And I'm using my upper arms to slightly open the knees and open the hips. If this is too much for you, then just omit this pose. We're transitioning here into just opening the arms wide, out to the side. I'm on my fingertips, and again, I'm gently using the upper arms to open the knees and dropping into a deep, deep squat. You're welcome to stay there. The next level, which is actually quite advanced, is to reach your arms around the front of your knees, inwardly rotate the arms, and reach behind your back. So I demonstrate here just using a yoga strap, or I'm using a bandana that I happen to have here. Okay, this is actually quite intense, so at any time come out of it. But as you do practice with this video, your hips will slowly become more open and flexible. This next pose also, do as much as you can here. So I'm just rocking from side to side, supporting my right knee and my right ankle. More advanced here is, and again, this takes time, is to have my right foot flexed right in the crook of my elbow, and my right knee is in the crook of my right arm. So you may not be able to get it as fully flat as I'm demonstrating, as parallel to the body. This takes months and even years to get to that point. Remember, I actually am a yoga teacher, and so it took me a long time. Here, we're transitioning now. You can bring the leg up straight, and there are many ways to do this. Again, take your bandana. You could put it around the sole of your foot, and that's just, if you're not as flexible yet, you can do it this way. You're holding and breathing. Remember, the breath is the yoga, the breath. Breathing in and out. is what's going to move the prana, the energy, the oxygen through the body, oxygenating all your cells, all of your tissues, deeply healing, so that as you're stretching here, you might just call it a hamstring stretch, but we're also increasing the blood circulation into the pelvis as well as the legs. The other side. Again, remember, just hold the foot and the knee as best you can. You may not be able to get it into this position. Okay, so you could have your foot further away from you and you just rock from side to side and hold it. The knee you want out to the side as much as possible, and you're trying to bring the foot in as close as possible to your torso on this left side. Breathe and release. Straighten the knee up, remembering your variations. You can have a strap around the foot. You can also bend that knee, and you work up to the pose. All of yoga is like this. That is why we call it a yoga practice, because I know some of you may be completely new to yoga. Those of you who practice regularly know that there's always continual evolving with the practice. Shake out your legs, shake out your body. If there's any tension, you don't want to carry that forward with you. Okay. Bring the soles of the feet together now. I'm demonstrating here that your knees might be up quite high, so your hips might be very tight. But begin on an exhale to fold forward, and you want to pull the heels up close into the groin as much as possible. Again, this is quite a deep version of the pose that I am showing you. You're going to very likely be higher up, and your feet may not be as close to the groin. If you're very flexible, as I'm demonstrating here, you can open your feet like the pages of a book so that your feet are actually flat up towards you and the heels very close to the groin. And I'm using my elbow to gently press down on that leg, so it's quite an intense stretch. Modify, do as much as you can. This is developed very slowly with repeated practice for me to even be able to do as much as that. And inhale, come on up. I'm just giving you open. You will definitely feel stretching sensation. You do not want to feel a sharp pain at any time in yoga. Transitioning now into a straddle bend. Inhale the left arm up and exhale over to the right side. I bring the right arm to the inside of the leg. If you'd like, you can also just rest that right arm on your right leg, and you're going to feel a pulling and lengthening through the left side of your body. Just breathe through it. This can be very, very tight for most people. Come up on an in-breath, exhale, arms down. And we'll go to the other side. Right arm up, exhale to the left. Flex your feet, the toes pulling back, heels forward. Try to go directly to the side, so rather than tipping your body forward, directly to the side, that arm over the ear. And now we're just smoothly going forward. Wherever you can, your palms are now on the floor if possible, or your fingertips are. And on an exhale, you're just in a straddle forward bend. I'm just showing ways to deepen the pose here. Again, over a period of time, you might be able to get your elbows down to the floor and to get the palms down to the floor, and even further, depending on the flexibility. Wherever you are is fine. You just want to be feeling a stretch in your body, and you will be getting the benefits of the yoga, moving the breath, moving the prana through. And here now we've transitioned to a lunge position. This is actually a preparation for full splits. And so the right foot is forward. Ideally, the knee is right over the ankle. I have put a cushion under my left knee because I'm on a yoga mat, but it's a hard wooden floor. So you want to protect your knee. And I'm just lunging. It's okay to move around here, to breathe, to go forward and back, and then come up into a high lunge, straightening that left knee. If that works for you, come back down. And then if possible, again, over a long period of time, you'll bring your hands to the floor inside that right foot. I'm just doing a quick opposite stretch there and then preparing for the other side. The left foot forward, knee over ankle. You can see I have the palms on the floor. You may need a block or something there if you're not able to reach the floor. And you can see I'm dropping the hips down and forward. Do some little twists. You'll feel a really nice opening on the side, and the buttocks, and the waist. Stay there, or again, very gently, you'll be able to go down towards the floor. High lunge. Breathe. Work with your position. Work with the appropriate position for you. I'm just pulling back and doing a quick stretch over that left leg and release. As you become more comfortable with the pose, you will just hold and breathe. You can either sit down on the buttocks, or as I'm doing here, a kneeling position, opening the arms out to the side, look up, deep breath, exhale, palms together, pause, breathe, feel. And then we're going to go right into Shavasana. Shavasana translates as corpse pose. The reason it's named that is because there should be no movement. Once you're settled in the pose, it's as if you let go completely. You just let go. I put a roll under my knees. The knees could actually be a little more bent here. Tuck the tailbone under so that the lower back is nice and elongated. You don't want to have a really high arch in the back. I've covered my eyes. The head may need a pillow, and the palms are facing up. This is the most important posture. It is where the energy will circulate, where the blood flow is just really moving, and you're creating the balancing and the healing that all the postures facilitated. Do not skip this practice. Ideally here, you could stay for at least 5 minutes. If you can, stay longer. And if you were looking at yourself from above, you would see that the head is centered, and you could draw a line through, down the nose, through the center of the mouth, and right through the midline of the body. Everything is balanced and open and relaxed. The arms equidistant apart, and the feet equidistant. Feeling your whole body completely relaxed. The breath comes in easily, goes out. Easily comes in, easily goes out. Your whole body now is so relaxed. You can feel it from your toes, relaxation all the way through the body, up to the arms, through the fingers, the entire body, all the way to the top of the head, relaxed, relaxed. And sit up only when you're ready. The best way to sit up is either to bend the knees, hug the thighs into your belly, and if you're on a soft enough surface, roll along the length of the spine, or you could roll over to one side. That's recommended if you have a bad back or any sensitivity. Roll over to the side with your knees bent, and then use your arms to slowly come up to sitting. We're transitioning now to do the acupressure point that is very powerful for building and nurturing that kidney and bladder energy in the body relating to the second chakra. You're going to take, I'm showing here your left foot, and you're going to measure 1/3 of the way down the foot. So just from the base of the toes to the heel, 1/3 of the way down, and you'll see it here on this diagram. You're going to take your thumbs and exhale, press into that point. So it is about in line with the second or third toe, right in between the pads at the ball of the foot. Again, looking at the diagram here, and just feel that you're sending energy into that point. You could hold for 5 to 10 seconds and do 3 times. I'm going a little bit faster here. Take the other leg, find the point again. It will probably be a little bit tender, so you'll know that you found it. And just press in with your thumb on an exhale. Keep the breath flowing. This is known, a translation is bubbling spring or gushing spring. So the Chinese used metaphorical language. So gushing spring is how powerful it is in terms of lifting and building the body's energy. So Goddess, some videos are going to pop up right now. My most popular series, it takes you through each chakra and explains all the correspondences and ends with a short meditation for that chakra. So check that out right now. That should pop up here or here. Namaste, stay blissed, stay blessed. Bye-bye.